I've noticed too is that when I'm busy manifesting something, let's say I'm manifesting something and then it didn't work out. I've been noticing the greater purpose in what did show up.
Right.
Which is hard for most people. Most people are like, we're going to manifest, and then they don't get what they wanted, what they were trying to manifest, and then they kind of throw everything out the window. So I'll tell you this interesting story that just happened. So Taylor Swift was just in Denver, and Stella really wanted to go. Well, I didn't really want to spend the money to.
Those are expensive tickets.
It was like, $1,500 a ticket.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I could, but I don't think that's worth it. So I was like, okay, what are we going to do? And like the day of the show was there and Stella was dying to go. And I was like, and I would love to see Taylor Swift. So I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And it was coming down to like 5:00. And I'm like, Stella, get dressed. And she's like, what? And I'm like, we're going to go to the concert. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, we're going to manifest tickets. Well, little did I know, 100 other people were also going to the concert to manifest tickets. Nice. Which was hilarious, right? And then once you're in the energy of the whole thing, you're like, okay, I have to get these tickets. And you get attached, right? So I'm sitting there, and I was like, okay, the concert's about to start. I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to pay for them, right? So I get on whatever, Vivid or StubHub or whatever, and I'm like, I'm just going to pay for them. I can just do it.
Right.
Get
You're
over
so
yourself.
Committed now.
Right, because I'm committed and I'm in the energy of the thing.
Now. Yes.
So I get on and I buy the tickets and they're gone. Like I press, meanwhile, back up. During the day I was on Ticketmaster because I heard they released more tickets. 17 times I had tickets, entered my credit card number, and then they were gone. 17 times. Like I had seat numbers and everything. So then we go, and I buy tickets and they're gone. And then I find other tickets and they're gone. And I'm like, how are they selling that fast? Like she's about to go on in 5 minutes, right? It's like almost 8:00. So then the last time I buy them, I pay way too much money. Click buy. And it gives me a confirmation. And then Stella and I are sitting there waiting for our tickets in my inbox. Waiting. I start to have a panicky feeling. Taylor's now playing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I see like where the seats are. So I'm even looking for like which entrance is the closest. And I'm like walking over there, ready to run in.
Yeah.
Okay, no tickets. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. So finally I call the company and I'm like, excuse me, the concert's already started. I paid my money. You deducted it from my account. Like, where are the tickets? Right? And then she has to call the seller of the tickets. And 10 minutes later, she gets back on and says, those tickets have been sold. And all of a sudden I'm like, we're not meant to go to the concert. Like, I haven't been listening all day. But that was like a clear, we're not meant. And Stella looked at me and she said, I'm so glad we didn't get the tickets. And I said, why? And she said, your money is more important than Taylor Swift.
Oh, interesting.
For an 11-year-old, right? And I was like, that's so kind that you would think of things like that. Okay, but fast forward.
You got your money back.
We got I think so. I left for Europe a couple days later. I think so. So then when we had arrived that night, there was a lady who we told we were looking for tickets, and she's like, if you don't get them, come back here. You can see the whole concert from this space in the parking lot. Like you can see the exact Jumbotron and everything.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay, so we go back there. Hundreds of people in this area.
It's like a mini concert.
It was a complete mini concert.
That's fun.
You can hear everything. Everyone is dancing and singing and lighthearted and watching the Jumbotron. So we saw the whole thing. But then it gets better. I met this family. And, you know, I didn't pay for a thing that day. Like, they gave me free water. People gave me wine. Like, it was hilarious. And gave Stella a place to stand so that she could see. The whole thing was magical. And then I found out that this family had just, a family member had just committed suicide 2 weeks before. And, you know, I'm very spiritual. And I'm like, I've done I've done almost everything, right? Like I know healers, I know guides, I know whatever. And I was able to help them and give them resources. And
great.
for the daughter's anxiety who found him and for their life. And I was like, oh, God put me here. This had nothing to do with Taylor Swift. Like, God just used Taylor Swift to get me to meet this family.
Yes.
And that was awesome.
That's awesome.
And what a great lesson for Stella to get like, and I think this is, I say this story because I think too often people quote unquote fail at their manifestations, but they don't look at what they just got that the universe wanted them to have that's better.
Right.
Because yes, it would have been something to talk about, and I love Taylor Swift, and that would have been great. But making a difference in someone's life was way more important that night.
And, you know, talk about like money having your back. Like, it was free, right?
And it was free.
And it's an energetic trade, you know? And so you were giving but getting at the same time. So it's an energetic trade, right?
Totally.
And it might have been more fun to be out in that parking lot than actually in there, you know?
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Because the vibe was different.
Totally.
Like the vibe inside was like having the best seats and looking your best and
right.
singing the right words.
Thousands of people.
Right?
Not
And
intimate at all.
No, and the vibe in the parking lot was like coming together.
Yeah.
You know, so unexpected miracles.
I think that's a beautiful story. I love
Thanks.
that story.